Hello friends, Sentinel H here, and welcome back to our ChromatiCraft tutorial series. So as you can see from our casting complex, the ChromatiCraft is still decked out for the holidays with like these garland strings wrapped around our column blocks, which is really funny. I always like the little touches Rika puts in for the various holidays. It's cool. Although April Fool's isn't really a holiday, but it might as well be on the internet. But yeah, it's kind of neat for the Christmas. So don't let that confuse you as we go through this episode. So I'm still working with the Pylon casting. An issue that I've got is that this casting table is loaded with Pylon energy. So while we work out a way to set that to 0, let's take a look at something else. So with the elemental manipulator, if you're using a lot of stars and things that require pylon energy, you know, going to the pylons can be really annoying because they're usually quite far apart and spread out. And if you have a certain type of energy that you're using a lot of, it can be really frustrating having to keep going and recharging. It'd be much better if you could build your own charge point that you could place wherever you needed it, and then you could use the repeaters to send the colored energy to that, which is exactly what you can do. So in this episode, we're going to take a look at something called the focus frame. We're going to need one of these, energy focus, which is up here in charging, which you'll find just past rune crafting towards the top of the book. And we are going to talk about the ritual table later, don't worry. You'll need to get one of these energy focuses, or foci, which I guess is the plural. And then if you go all the way down to the bottom, usefully enough, just straight down from this, you'll find under charging the focus frame, multi-block structure, which is this, which is what we're going to build. Cool. Alright, let's get started. So the main component of this is obviously the energy focus itself. You're going to require a crystal core in order to make this, which we've talked about plenty of times. It's relatively easy to build. You're going to need all these runes set up, which we already have. These are the runes, basic rune setups that you need to make like a certain basic items. So you just need all of these set up, the ones that are right in there, and it just kind of, you know, each one goes around. It's got all the colors in it in the basic order, as I refer to it. You know, the order that they appear in the creative inventory. So that's all you need for the runes. Really simple. And then we need to set up this. So let's go ahead and do it. So take your crystal core and place it in the center. Obviously you don't need the casting complex for this, because you don't need any pylon energy. Level 3 will work. Casting temple will work just fine. Place your crystal core in the center, then grab yourself 4 diamonds and place them in the outer corners of your item casting stands. Oops, that's not the outer corner. Come back. Where'd my diamond go? There it is. In there. You're also going to need spatial rifting powder, which we've taken a look at before. Spatial rifting powder is an orb powder that comes from void stone, which of course looks like this. So in order to get your hands on this, I think you need to go to the end, because that looks like it's built into endstone. This material might provide a key to being able to relocate oneself at will. Yeah, interesting. So you need to grab yourself some void stone. It's kind of glitching out the textures there, I'm not sure why. So get yourself some spatial rifting powder and chuck it into your crafting center like this. It goes in the cardinal directions on the inner setting. Then you need transmissive dust. Transmissive dust, of course, we've used several times now. It comes from the radiance bush, which you'll usually find in deserts. Place it in the inner corners. And now you just need a bunch of glowstone, 12 of it to be exact, and you'll fill in each of the sides. It's not, I mean, it's expensive, but it's not the most expensive thing ever. If you use spatial rifting powder, it could be difficult to get your hands on, and that'll make ourselves an energy focus. Let's cast it. Yay! Particle effects. I don't know if this table adds it, but there's like an extra sound effect in the background of that. Is it added by this table? I don't know. Remember that my table is super leveled. Okay, so now we have an energy focus. Basically, this is the primary block needed for this multi-block to function. So before we can place it in the world, we need to build a multi-block. Now, of course, you can place it down anywhere, but that's all you're going to get. A little white ball that does nothing. In order to make it do something, we need to build the multi-block. So what should we do? Let's build the multi-block like right here. I've went out and found a Tahara pylon, just trying to work on connecting pylon colors. We're not going to build it in the way of that, of course. Actually, building it over here is a much better idea. If we build it over there, it'll block the line of sight for those things. So this multi-block is actually quite small. Not that big. I think it's 5 wide, 5 by 5, and it's 7 tall. So that's all that you need. It's really not a big space requirement. However, you are going to need something. This block right here. If we look at the end page, so it shows us what we need, you're going to need 4 runes of whatever color pylon energy you're going to be using for this. And as far as I know, there's no multi-aura version of this, although that'd be really awesome if there was a multi-aura version. You're going to need 8 crystalline stone, 16 stone columns, 4 engraved crystalline stone. You're going to need 4 crystalline stone bricks, 1 of these aura stabilizers. You're also going to need 6 each of something called crystalline stone groove and crystalline stone groove 2. So let's talk about the easy thing first, the crystalline stone groove. So, crystalline stone groove is created like this. You just need 3 crystalline stone, and you need to turn it vertically, put it vertically in the casting table. I believe it's the casting table, of course, anyway. And that gives you 3 crystalline stone grooves, so you don't lose blocks. However, you also need crystalline stone groove 2, which turns it horizontal. These are 2 different blocks because of the direction that the groove is turned. So if I look straight ahead to the north and I place that groove, it's facing vertical. It's always going to face vertical north and south. And this one faces east and west. And you need both of these. You need 6 of each, so you need to make the recipe twice. So it's super cheap. It's just a shape of crystalline stone. So don't let that confuse you. Although if your multi-block isn't working, you check the crystalline stone groove. It might be turned the wrong way. So let's now talk about the other thing that we need, the aura stabilizer. This is a needed component for high-level multi-blocks, or at least higher-level multi-blocks than the basic stuff that we make earlier. It is actually not that difficult to get your hands on. This is the recipe. A boosted Tahara crystal, 4 Tahara crystal runes, and 4 crystalline stone. So let's go ahead and cast that. 4 Tahara crystal runes. We also need a boosted Tahara shard, which is easy to make. We talked about it before. You can make it in large bulk batches with some good recipes. And then we need some more just basic crystalline stone. Okay. Oh, no. Get out of there. This is just a basic recipe. There we go. 4 aura stabilizers. And it crafts almost immediately. It's just a multi-block component, so it doesn't take a whole long time to craft. And you get 4 of them for that recipe, so it's nice. You get 1 for each Tahara crystal rune, basically. And they do resemble Tahara crystal runes. I mean, yeah, they look very similar, actually. They just have that cool rotating pattern in them. So, now that you've got yourself some Tahara crystal, some aura stabilizers, blah, and you've made yourself some grooves, we'll be able to go ahead and actually build this thing. So, place down your aura stabilizer right in the center. That'll help you, locate your structure here. And then I just need to check that out. And yep, use the 2D view, and that's exactly what I thought. Then you're going to grab yourself some standard crystalline stone and just surround the aura stabilizer in that. Make sure we're not getting in the way of this. Nope, not at all. Surround that. Now we need to go ahead and, well, before we do the groove, let's take the crystalline stone bricks, because you need those. just stick them in the corners like this. They go in the corners. Now we take the groove. Oh, forgot a corner. If I place this groove like this, you'll notice that the lines are facing the center. This is not what we want. You want to place your crystalline stone groove 2s and your crystalline stone grooves so that the line that they have on them forms a border around the outside. The line kind of connects to the stone brick on at least 2 sides. Basically, the line of the groove follows the border, so you get this nice shape. So you're going to put crystalline stone groove 2 on the north and south face, and crystalline stone groove on the east and the west face. Okay, that'll make sure that it follows this order. And so it can be a little difficult sometimes to see it if you have it wrong. So if your multi-block doesn't work, this is what I would definitely check first. I keep forgetting to use that bookmark functionality. Okay, so now we need to place our columns. So go ahead and grab yourself the crystalline stone column and just place 1 on each corner, followed by 1 in the corners of the crystalline stone bricks. So you're going to end up with a pattern like this. Alright, we're going to build up the inner ones to 3 high. We're going to leave the outer ones at only 1. And this is where we place our runes. So this is where you choose what crystal energy type you're going to be, what lumen energy you're going to be using here. Place the rune, the 4 runes of whatever color you're trying to utilize on those little pedestals. Now we need engraved crystalline stone. That's what that is, engraved. Don't forget and use embossed. It won't work. I happen to have some embossed right here. Not what you want. You want engraved crystalline stone. Place it on top of your columns. Now, using any block that you have that you have at your disposal, you need to build up like this, because the energy focus needs to be placed. If we look at the 3D view again, it needs to be placed on the 2 blocks above these top blocks of your pillars and in the center. So you need to build up to that with a block of some description. I'm just using crystalline stone. So get up to this level, 2 blocks above the pillars, and then place your energy focus right in the middle. And the way that you know it worked is that you have this. That the energy focus does not look like a simple little glowy dot. It looks like this cool thing. It's got the cool sort of kaleidoscopic pattern, and it's got all these little lovely little what do you call it, particles floating down, and all of these cool symbols of the crystal energy that you're using floating up around the borders. So it looks really nice. So now I'll just grab out my elemental manipulator, and if we sort of look at the energy focus, oh, actually it doesn't seem to have any power. This thing can take power directly from the Lumen network, the Pylon network. I'm pretty sure that I set this up properly and that I'm actually getting Tahara energy through here. But it doesn't appear to actually have any power. It's probably because it's so far away that maybe the chunks are that the thing is in isn't actually loaded. I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but we can easily fix this problem by using a color that I know works. So we'll just break that. And I was hoping that would work for demonstration. That would have been nice. That's a really long run as well. Alright. Let's swap in green for Kajani. So we'll just build up and place it down. And you can see that's all you need to do in order to make it to change it and make it work. Now we just need to make sure that it can get power. So let's just go ahead and set up another repeater for Kajani right here. So we're connected. And it shows that we're connected now. It's not getting any power though. Alright, so it took a moment, it took a bit for my Pylon network to recognize that this thing was there, but now it's being charged with power from my Pylon there. Sweet. So now our little focus frame, which we'd be basically interacting with from down here, it's got a full charge on Kajani power, so I can hold with my elemental manipulator and I can draw a charge from it, just like I would be able to from a Pylon, although until you have surge protection, that's quite dangerous. And if you look, you can see how I'm draining it. The green part of the circle is shrinking because I'm draining power from it to fill my little pie slice. So as mentioned before, these are at their most useful if you're constantly using a certain type or certain types of power. For instance, if you're doing large scale excavation projects with the excavation star, and you therefore need a lot of if you therefore need like a ton of Riskia and Catrino, and you don't want to go to the Pylons to charge it, well, you just build one of these for Riskia and one for Catrino, and stick them near where your project is, and make sure that they're connected with repeaters, and boom, you've got now a charge port for them that is right near where you're using it. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I really just like these things because they look awesome as well. They're like the book says, they're great just for decoration. And if all you're using them for is decoration, you don't even need to connect these to the Pylon network, because they just look cool all the time, even if they don't have any power. So those are focus frames. They're a great looking multi-block that also has a very useful function. So that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed this look at focus frames. It's especially important that I talk about these because I'm using these pretty heavily in a build that I'm working on. Little teaser there, working on a build here. It's going to be a while before you see it. If you're on the Discord, then you'll have already seen some preview screenshots. So yeah, join the Discord if you want to check those out, and look forward to that. So like I said, we'll be getting into Pylon casting as soon as I can figure out how to get all the, as soon as I get around getting all the power out of that table so that it'll actually, you can actually see the beams. It'll actually draw power. So, thanks again for watching. I'm Sentinel H, and I'm signing out.